counselor, and I've been very blessed to work with and study with spirit guides and enlightened teachers around the world for the last 25 years or so, 26 years now. And today is the 21st of May 2014, and I'm in beautiful West Cork, Ireland, and I'm wanting to talk about the power of forgiveness. I do one-on-one sessions with people to heal and to awaken and to listen to, trust, and follow our own inner guidance and to reconnect with spirit. So you're invited to think about that and contact me if I can be of any help to you in a 30 or a 60-minute session via Facebook. You can find me on Facebook under my name, or here on YouTube. I'll have some links as well. So I did a session yesterday, and the conversation was so rich, and with a lot of my clients and friends, and in my own journey here with spirit, I'm learning so much about the importance of forgiveness and the power of forgiveness, and the ability, the unlimited ability that forgiveness has to help us to really reconnect with who we are. So my intent today is to look more in the camera, and my intent today is also to to leave this at about 30 minutes. I'm trying to get more concise with my videos, so I'm working on that, and I hope to start doing even shorter videos and more frequently. That's the goal. That seems to work very well. So this is sort of a middle step to get to that place for me today, because forgiveness is a big subject, and so I'll probably chat here for 15 minutes, and then channel for 15 minutes is my intention there. So I channel a group of guides, called the Pleiadians, and there are many different kinds of channelers and channelings and spirit guides, and many kinds of Pleiadians. So if you've seen me before, I'm very blessed. I have about 525 subscribers now, which is great. And so if you've seen me before, you know the kind of channeling I do, and I was very rusty here, so I'm pretty much kind of getting more in the flow of my channeling here as well. So thanks for your patience as I practice all of this. So after I had the session, I did my own conversation, recorded my own conversation, a selfie audio about forgiveness and what I understand about it, and then I channeled about it for my guides, and it's a great thing to be able to do, because guess what? They had a lot to say that I hadn't heard put that way before, and it was very helpful for me. So I've listened to the channeling several times. I hope that some of it comes through in that part of the video here today. Basically, what they spoke about is that that there's 3 steps that happen for all of us between creating illness or injury or a crisis, a difficult situation. The first step is the wounding, where something gets our attention in a negative way, and we start to struggle with it. We start to want to get out of it. We start to want to fix it and heal it and resolve it and change it as quickly as possible. And then when and if that is not easily done or quickly done, or doesn't even look to be humanly possible, then we begin to make the second part of the journey, which is into understanding. And Lazarus is a wonderful teacher, and they talk a lot about the power of understanding. For my guides, they talk about the mind is belief, the heart is understanding, and the spirit is our knowing. So we're making a journey from the wounding through understanding back into the knowing. And basically that the wounding happens because we are not giving ourselves easier access to what it is that we know. And so a crisis forces us to then work with opening our hearts, work with forgiveness, work with compassion, work with acceptance, work with humility, work with greater intimacy and greater honesty and greater trust and greater vulnerability and greater acceptance again. So I'm speaking all of this from personal experience very deeply these days, having made a lot of powerful healing journeys over the last year particularly, and very deeply, truly grateful about what I'm understanding at this point, and where my journey and my work is leading me at this point. And a lot more to be grateful for, a lot more to appreciate and be grateful for. Then the third step here, to come back to the process, is to access the knowing. So what forgiveness does for us is it gives us a doorway, it gives us a process, it gives us tools to work with and energy to play with, and people to work with, who help us to love and accept ourselves, love and accept the situation to the best of our ability, so that we can again access what is it that my spirit knows, that at the core of myself I know that I'm not mentally or physically or emotionally allowing myself to discover or to realize or to experience or to express. And so, in other words, if we have illness, then there is some issue of self-love, self-worth, feelings about ourselves, thoughts about ourselves, that is in conflict with the health of our bodies. And so that demands our understanding, so we can come back to the knowing that we are healthy. If we lose a job, or work is a challenge, or finances are a challenge, then it's the same. We're wanting to know our abundance. We're wanting to know our oneness with the abundant, loving universe that we're a part of. We're wanting to express our generous and loving and kind nature. We're wanting to experience the miracles of life, the flow of life, the interconnectedness with the world in a meaningful way, in a purposeful and inspiring way that prospers us, that prospers others, that increases value. So much of what my guides have talked about is how the awakening that we're all in the midst of right now, and more awareness of that every day, and more people beginning to be aware of this time of awakening every day. How much of that is about our values, what we value, how much we value, how we express our values, things that we used to take for granted now being a source of challenge or struggle, makes them suddenly become very valuable. And things, again, the knowing in our spirit, what we don't express, what we don't share, what we don't bring forward, we start to go, well, maybe I have greater value in these areas that I've not looked at before. And I relate to all of that, of course, and so much of my own experience and my own witness to others, and support for others of valuing self and honoring self and respecting self, you just see people bloom and blossom. You find your own confidence, you see others do the same, greater sense of self-worth and self-love and self-trust, self-esteem, all of these kinds of aspects of clearing the confusion. So again, the wounding, they also said here, happens when we become too attached, too identified, too focused on people, places, things, and situations, the illusions of separation of the mind and the body and the world. And it's not that those things aren't valuable or important, but if we become obsessed with them or addicted to them or distracted by them, and we don't take time and make space for peace as often and as deeply as possible, in these changing times and in our own healing and awakening journey, then our focus starts to get narrower and narrower, and we feel more imprisoned or victimized or unsupported or unseen or unknown. All these all the struggle that the ego and the mind create in this belief in lack. So again, the work for awakening for me in supporting others in my own journey, in studying everything that's out there online, all day long, as I often do, is to be opened in our hearts, to be inspired, to be uplifted, to laugh, to relax, to feel safe, loved, and supported, and to have a network not only of our friends and our colleagues in the world, but also with spirit. To have one of the great gifts about learning to channel, as I said, is that I can have a question and I can go channel about it, and it won't be necessarily a direct answer, as Abraham points out. The question and the answer are on different vibrations, but it is a conversation about the subjects that I'm interested in, and it is another perspective of my larger self that is able to come through me, that I'm grateful and open and receptive to. And so I want to say again here, channeling is a skill that everyone can learn to do. A lot of the emails or conversations that I've had in the last week or two from people that are starting to see my videos or hear me or whatever, find my work on Facebook or whatever, is that people are saying, well, I'm opening to channel, and this is who I'm channeling. And I'm like, okay, great, or I want to open to channel. How do I do that? Basically, I would send you to Sanaya Roman and her spirit guide Oren, and their book and their materials called Opening to Channel. But what I say is that for me, it's clarity, it's about honesty, and it's about intimacy. That's a great way to put it. And so a lot of people are put pressure on themselves, or they're anxious to channel, or they're very open, very sensitive. I have friends like that who just stuff just starts coming in because you're so wide open. That's fine, but probably you want to know that, be very clear with your intention, as I'm saying here, that you work only with the highest guides for the most loving purpose, and it should lift you up. It should raise your vibration and be a joyous experience every time. It shouldn't be confusing. It shouldn't. You should know, who you're channeling to the best of your ability, and you should certainly, as I say, feel good about it and safe about it. Basically, the way I've learned it is, again, from Lazarus and Sanaya, is that your higher self is the bridge to channel, and all of us can channel our higher self. All of us channel love and wisdom and truth and inspiration all the time. That's a form of channeling, absolutely. To consciously begin, or to begin to work as a trance channel or a conscious channel, like Abraham and Jack are both trance channels to my mind. I'm a conscious channel. Is just the process of a healing and opening, healing the mind, opening the heart, and feeling that connection to spirit, feeling that connection to the unconditionality of yourself. All right, just wanted to say that. Let me come back to forgiveness here very briefly, and then I'll channel. So the wounding, step 1, the understanding or search for understanding, step 2, and the knowing, step 3. So what Spirit said, I started to say this, is we get too attached to the conditions, too attached to the conditions, or too driven by the conditions. That's a good way to say it. And the healing through understanding, through accepting, forgiveness, compassion, opening the heart through understanding. Oh, now I see why that's happening. Oh, now I understand my part in that. Oh, now I see why I keep attracting these kinds of financial situations, these kinds of relationships, these kinds of living conditions, these kinds of ideas about spirit, about myself. I understand now. I see. My heart has opened the doorway for me to know the truth about this in a deeper way. Okay? And then the third step is knowing. This is my unconditionality. This is what I wanted to get to, that knowing comes back through being unconditional. So, again, you hear everyone say this, meditation, meditation, meditation. There's no way, my friends, to heal. There's no way to open to channel. There's no way to awaken without a willingness to daily dive into the depth of yourself through meditation. It just has to be done. It needs to be done. It must be done. You can't get there without it, because the heart knows what the mind struggles to believe, as my guides say. And when I feel good, when I slow down, when I open my heart, and that can be a walk in the woods or working in the garden or listening to music. It doesn't have to be sitting with your eyes closed, breathing deeply. But if you can do that, if you can open either through guided meditation, which is what 90% of the time, if not more, I tend to do, it's at least that, yeah. But also, just pay attention to your thoughts, your feelings, be more deliberate, more interconnected. Meditation is the best way to do that, and really it helps you. It's essential to do that. Okay, and then you come back to knowing. That's where I want to get to. You come back to feeling loved unconditionally. You come back to remembering who you are as a spiritual being. You come back to, you may have cancer, you may have foreclosure, you may have lost your job, your girlfriend. What's my line here? Your car keys or your mind. It doesn't matter the surface of things. If you have a spiritual practice, which is letting go of the outer, turning within, quieting your mind, opening your heart, surrendering to something that you can perceive and experience as a loving higher power, if you can do that, you've got all the tools you'll ever need to live consciously, to heal, and to manifest what you want. Now, that is a very humble process every time. And, we all have duties and responsibilities and demands and agendas and distractions in our world. But again, this is the time of awakening. So whatever you can do to tune in and to listen to your heart and to surrender, to come back to your soul and spirit, your higher self, that's going to help you every single time. Okay, that's good for today. For my part, thank you very much. Here's phase 2. Go ahead, if you want to, please close your eyes, take a deep breath. I'll channel my guides here. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, dear friends. Yeah, here we come. Yeah. Imagine 7 stars spiral down through time and space. Yeah, and they're going to touch the crown of the top of your head, the crown of your head there. Take a lovely deep breath. Sit up nice and straight. Let that energy flow down through your 7 centers, yeah, through the tube of light there, yeah, in the center of your spine, and down, 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 through the legs, down, 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 back into Mother Earth, yeah. Bring heaven and earth together, and you be the bridge, yeah. You be the balancer. You be in balance, in harmony, yeah, in a state of receptivity. Dear friends, wonderful to be here with you all, yeah. So you're inviting us here to the topic of forgiveness. So we'll touch on what was said there, and we'll see if we can bring some more energy to that. What we want to say here, which the channel hasn't said yet, so that's where we'll begin, is it's always about forgiving yourself. Yeah, that's so commonly in the world, you know, in your spiritual studies, dear friends, in your religions, in the consensus reality. It's about forgiving others. You know, do unto others as you want them to do unto you, absolutely. But then do unto you as you want to do unto others as well here, yeah? It's a two-way street, yeah, dear ones. It's a reciprocal process. Life is your mirror, yeah, and you're here for the freedom of that, yeah? Here's the channel's workshop this weekend in Ireland. If you're in the neighborhood, yeah, you're here for the freedom of forgiveness. And so just like peace or love or anything that feels good, yeah, forgiveness is a gift you need to be willing to give to yourself, yeah. So we want to just deconstruct this a little, unpack it here a little further here, yeah. When you create or you experience, yeah, a situation that's unloving or difficult, or someone is rude to you or insults you or takes you for granted or takes advantage of your kind nature, yeah, any of those things, and you feel a sense of wounding, as was said there, yeah, you feel a sense of being hard done by, yeah, is the phrase here, yeah. Then you're in the ego in that moment, yeah, because that's the part of you that perceives. Well, let's say you're in the ego when you make it be about them, dear friends. That's what we want to say. You can feel hurt, of course you can, and you can feel anything you choose to focus on and perceive as real. That's what your feelings are doing, is they're giving you the feedback of what you're perceiving, what it means to your inner self. But then the ego, the mind, wants to quickly jump in there quite often and say, they meant to do that, or I don't deserve such a treatment as this, or what have I done to deserve this? Yeah, my illness, my loss of my job, a loss of relationship, etc., all of that. So that's step one, the wounding. Something will happen that will take you out of feeling safe, loved, and supported. Okay. Now, as was said there, this is not God punishing you. This is not life mistreating you, dear ones. This is you in your current state of consciousness, striving, seeking, sometimes struggling heroically, yeah, to wake up, yeah, to wake up to exactly what this lifetime is asking you to understand. The reciprocity, yeah, that's a good word, the reflective nature, yeah, of your inner vibration, as our friends say, your inner energy, your inner focus here, yeah, sometimes unconsciously, absolutely, through the experiences of your life. So step one is the wounding, where truly, if you can understand, you are always seeking for greater meaning and greater permission within self to express your true nature, yeah? That's why the wounding has happened. When you're joyous, when you're in your purpose, when you're passionate, when you're inspired, when you're creative, when you're loving and caring and kind and giving in general, yeah? That happens less and less often. Absolutely it does. But this is what you're learning, to trust more, that your love is more powerful than your fear, really, yeah, and that your spirit is more powerful than your circumstances, always, yeah. So, dear friends, this is the dance. The first step is the wounding. Something gets your attention in a negative way. Very good, okay. Now you have a tool to understand it, yeah. And that's our second step here, is understanding. Yeah, what do we mean by understanding? We mean that you want to make it meaningful. Yeah, as we're saying here, you want to say this has happened, or is happening, or looks like it could happen. Yeah, why would I create this? Yeah, why would I believe this? Why would I invite this? Why would I allow this? Now, this is what forgiveness is about, dear friends. Your mind, your personality, the ego, other people's good opinions, yeah, they're all saying you don't deserve that. And they could be quite right, dear friends. You don't deserve to, no one deserves to struggle in pain and fear and lack and limitation. However, of course, you are creating those experiences, again, so you can understand who you are. So you can understand that you are indeed a spiritual being having a human experience. So you can understand that you have access to unlimited freedom within your own imagination and your own emotion. And if you can begin to find any way at all, yeah, to feel your way into that unconditional part of yourself, your soul and spirit, your higher self, source, the divine, in any form you want to describe it there, yeah, or use no name at all, it's fine by us, yeah, but that's what you're on a journey to do as a physical human being. You want to know that you have the power within yourself to remember your truest self, to create your most joyous experience. So the wounding is step one, yeah. The understanding and the search for understanding. Sometimes the step between 1 and 2, dear friends, can take a lifetime, can take many lifetimes, can take many years, can take many decades. You see how often we see human beings insist upon repeating, God bless you, yeah, the same patterns over and over again. Yeah, you've seen this, of course, in your own life and in the lives of those you know. What we want to invite you to understand is, if you can forgive yourself, if you can say, you know what, I maybe made a less than conscious choice here, or maybe I deserve better, or maybe I'm willing to see this, excuse us, in a new way. However you find your way into the vibration of compassion, of acceptance, of responsibility in a positive sense here, not blame, but responsibility, it's an important distinction, then you can forgive yourself. You can be human. You can make a mistake. You can forget an appointment, or whatever it might be. That's the doorway, do you see, in the vibration understanding in your heart that now brings you back to the to access, to be open to be available for the unconditionality of your spirit. Your spirit is not dictating, dear friends, your particulars. It is supporting you to learn that you are dictating your own experiences here. Yeah, and so what we want you to understand, the paradox here, it's beautiful. Yeah, from our point of view, is that since you at the core of your true self are unconditional love and eternal light, yeah, you in the experience of time and space and the mind and the body and conditions and all of that are working on focusing, yeah, all that you are into the experience of the world as you've known it here, yeah, and again here the doorway to let that become meaningful and purposeful and conscious and joyous, yeah, is through your heart. And what you're working on here is not forgiving the others that might have done you wrong, not forgiving the situation that might be less than what you want or feel you deserve, but, dear friends, forgiving yourself for creating anything that is less than what you truly want, and, dear ones, having a sense of gratitude ultimately for your willingness to take responsibility for the situation getting your attention. This is a point here. It's all, as our friends say, it's all only always about your focus. Yeah, you can focus. So we want to say this: those that have made or will make the journey, as you have and done in this and other lifetimes, from crisis or the wounding, through the opening of your heart, forgiving, accepting, compassion, responsibility, back into the unconditional sense and knowing of your oneness with Spirit. As you do that, you become more confident in your ability to live in your world. You become more confident in your ability to access the resources within you. And dear ones, you listening to this message today are well on your way in this direction here, and there are many others who are a step behind you or a step ahead of you here, who are also learning that as you allow yourself to be consciously spiritual, to be unconditional, to be surrendered, to be devotional, to give yourself completely to those vibrations of unconditional love and perfect peace and acceptance. Perhaps it's only for moments. Perhaps it's only for moments at the beginning here. But as you truly learn to do this, you see, your understanding will bloom and blossom, and your relationship to the crisis or the loss or the injury or the attack or the struggle, whatever it might be, will start to be seen through the eyes of compassion for yourself, for your own journey, for what you are here to learn and what you are here to understand. Yes? So we want to say also finally this: there is an intimate eternal relationship between the illusions of separation in your physical reality and the love and guidance of Source and of Spirit and of your guides in each and every moment. And dear ones, the dance, the unfoldment, the evolution, the wonderful moment that you're living right here and now is for you to begin to be more aware of this and more connected to this and more responsible about this, and thus more empowered around all of this than ever before, than any other lifetime, than any other reality that you've experienced. And so what we mean to really bring your attention to here as we bring things to a close is to really ask you to sit with that, to invite you to take a breath, bring those stars down one more time, and just let all this that we've said settle in there with you. Take a deep breath. I am a conscious, loving, and responsible spiritual being whose purpose and passion is to understand, to love, and to accept my conscious choices and my unconscious choices in this life, to see truly and clearly that my will and my world are always in alignment, the one to the other. There are no accidents, there are no coincidences. Everything is now in my life working consciously and joyously together for good. I allow, invite, and welcome the presence of my spirit, my soul, my divine self, and my loving, kind, and caring heart to be attuned to this truth as never before. I bless the situations and circumstances in my life, in this present moment, in the appearance of the past or the appearance of the future, which have in any way felt misaligned or disconnected from this highest truth. I bless every situation and circumstance in my life, and I bring all my power back into the present moment, here and now. I truly know that the love and the light that is my source and spirit guides, inspires, and co-creates with me a life of joy, a life of health, a life of abundance, a life of love, a life of freedom. I am willing, ready, and able to embrace this truth, and I am grateful and thankful that it is so. Dear ones, take a deep breath above and below, to the left and right, before, behind, within, and all around. Feel the peace. Forgive and release the struggle, the pain, the fear, the doubt, the worry. Open your heart to your heart of hearts, to the soul and spirit, the divine self within you, at the core of your being, that waits eternally and effortlessly for your attention and your devotion to be you, in one, as one. Peace and blessings. Love and light. Namaste. Okay, thank you very much. Have a brilliant week, and I hope I will connect with any of you that are interested in what I do very soon. Peace and blessings. Namaste.